Perfect. And let me just put my video on spotlight. Wonderful. Okay. So coming to the top of your mat, standing with your feet hip distance apart, or even slightly wider, just so that we have a nice wide base. And maybe one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Just close your eyes. Take a few moments to arrive to center. And I just want to share with you a reading before we begin by Victoria Erickson. She says, everything is rhythm. Give and take, push and pull. Everything melts into a dance, which brings us back to the body, which is rooted to the ground, which is always inside of this moment. Here, now, exactly as we are. Strike a match against the now, and it will blow out every time. The wind always wins. I see you. I too am learning to trust my legs. Everything is a rhythm, give and take, push and pull. Let everything melt into a dance that brings us back to our body, which is rooted to the ground, which is always inside of this moment. Here, now, exactly as we are. I too am learning to trust my legs. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, feel your body getting heavier into the ground, into your feet, into your legs. As you next inhale, start to draw your tailbone down towards the back of your heels, towards the back of your knees. So you can feel the muscles start to wrap around your bones just a little bit more. And then in that strength and in that firmness, allow your body just to sway a little bit forward and back to find this sense of rhythm and dance, to find that sense of the earth catching you before you fall too far forward or fall too far back. Everything is rhythm, she says. Give and take, push and pull. Everything melts into a dance. And I love how she ends, I too am learning to trust my legs. See if you can find that rhythm just a little bit longer until you find the center. And then when you find center, just take a moment there in center, in stillness, and see if you can root down, firm down just a little bit more. Can you trust your own legs? The strength, the stability, the support, even when you feel that you're going to fall too far forward, flat on your face. Can you trust that the rhythm will bring you back into center? That everything is a dance, a push and a pull. We're going to be playing a lot with our balance in our class today. We're going to do some things to prepare us in that, which is strengthening our core. And if you did our video this week on Fit to Flow, you would have heard me talk about the core and that being important to strengthen when we're looking at strengthening our ability to trust, to bring ourselves back to center. So let's take one more breath. This time, inhale, take your arms up to the sky and push down through your feet as you pull your arms into the sky above you. And then exhale, float your way down into your forward fold. Let your head drop, let the neck get nice and long. Maybe a little sway here, finding a rhythm and a dance in your forward fold as you start to release into the back of your body. As you start to feel into the back of your body, just to notice how it feels for you here today, how we're showing up to our mat. And then coming up halfway, hands to your shins as you pull the spine forward. Pause here, and then feel that you're turning on your core so much that it feels easy to hold, that we feel a sense of support, that we don't feel collapsing in the back at all. And then exhale, bend the knees and bow back down. Head drops, forehead to shins. Inhale, come up halfway, engage the core, neck nice and long. And exhale, taking that bow again. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling. Core is strong. Back is supported. Exhaling into that fold. Step the right leg back. And then landing on the ball of your foot, pull the gaze forward and float your hands up and back behind you. And then as you exhale, let your hands come back to the floor. Inhale, we're just gonna float the arms up. And as you do, lift your chest like you're about to fly. And then exhale, just trust the floor again, hands back down. Inhale, one more time. Float the arms up like you're going to fly. And then this time, reach your arms forward and come up into a graceful, maybe, crescent lunge. Let your knee move forward, let the shin move forward, and lift out of your lower back. Lift your ribs up to the sky. Feel that sense of push and pull. There's a sense of pushing down into the earth and pulling up into the sky. And those things are always happening with rhythm, with a sense of dance. They're dancing between what's pushing and what's pulling. It's not ever stagnant. Take one more breath here. And then as you next exhale, the hands will come back to the ground. Step it back into your plank pose and hold plank pose for a moment. Take your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. Beautiful. And you're going to push down into your left hand and you're just going to reach your right arm forward. And then you're going to let your right hand come back down to the ground as you exhale. Push into the ground and inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale. Now find your breath, find your own rhythm. Don't worry about waiting for me to tell you when to move. But just move between this dance of pushing and pulling. Of finding that support through the earth. The breath into this moment. Good. Let's finish up. Last time, as you lift the left arm, place that left hand back to the floor. Bring your feet back hip distance apart. Push the floor away. Pull your body up towards the sky. And then soften your knees and lower all the way down to the floor. Inhaling into your back bend. And then pause here. We're going to come into this back bend a couple of times. Drop and let your forehead rest. Inhale. Roll yourself, pull yourself back up to the sky. And as you pull up, push your hands down. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhaling. Lifting the front body, stretching the front body into your Cobra. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Tuck the toes. Push into the ground. Lift and pull your hips up to the sky. Let your head drop and release. Maybe a little march, a little walk of your legs, bending one knee at a time. Letting your hips sway right to left, swing and sway. And taking it nice and easy. Beautiful. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet. Walking our hands back to our feet, pausing there in a forward fold. Let the arms drape forward, head is heavy. And then this time, roll yourself up. As you do, keep your knees bent, chin to chest. Roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. When your head gets above your heart, let your shoulders pull to the sky and then let them settle back towards the ground. Inhaling, lift them up. Pull them to the sky. And exhaling, let them settle back down. Send your weight into that left leg. Push into the earth as you pull your right knee up to the sky. And then let the right foot come back down. Let's add the arms. So we're going to inhale, pull the arms to the sky, pull the left knee up. Exhale, now come through a little chair. So a little bend of the knees, pushing down into the earth, pulling up. Right knee, arms. Exhale, stepping back down. So keeping it nice and slow. Inhaling. So this is going to help us with our balance. Why? Because we are starting to strengthen those muscles. As we're pushing down into the earth, we're pulling up. So we're engaging the gluteus muscles, the thighs, but also from pulling, we're engaging the hip flexors and the core. Let's do this twice more. As you pull up, can you really feel that you are connecting to your core? Good. So the last one is the left side, making sure we finish equally, both right and left. And then you're going to land in the chair pose. So bend your knees, keep your arms reaching. Pull the core in, pull the belly in. Beautiful. Sink your bum back just a little bit more. And then fold forward. As you exhale, bow forward, drop your head. Beautiful. Walk your hands forward again. We're going to find that plank pose. Push the floor away. And we're going to push and pull. So we're going to push into the hands, lean over to the left hand, reach the right arm forward. Imagine someone was pulling you forward. Feel the weight coming more into the hand, more into the tiptoes. Exhale, push the floor away, pull forward, inhale. Exhale, push the floor away, pull forward. Inhale, lift the right arm. Exhale, right hand back to the floor. Lift the left arm. Left hand to the floor, lower all the way down to the ground, coming into your Cobra on your inhalation. Pull the heart forward, open. And then exhale, push the floor away as you pull your hips back to the sky. Slow, deep breath. Feeling that whole body becoming energized, maybe a little bit warmer. So if you're feeling warm, try to keep the body in balance with some cooling breaths. Maybe out through the mouth with a sigh. Maybe inhaling through the mouth so that the breath passes the tongue. Like a dog that gets cooled down as they breathe past their tongue. Let's take one more breath here. And then we're going to step that right foot forward. Right foot comes forward between the hands, coming back into our lunge. Pull the gaze forward, coming onto the ball of your back foot. We're going to inhale, lift the hands up and behind you, lift your chest slightly. And exhale, just come back into fingertips touching the earth. Inhale again, like you're about to lift all the way up, but then you change your mind. Exhaling, just finding a little rhythm. Inhale, pull the arms back. And then float the arms forward as you lift them up to the sky, pushing down into the earth, firming through your legs, trusting your legs. Yes, great balance, everyone. And finding that rhythm, that dance between push and pull, pushing down to the earth, pulling up to the sky, trusting in your legs, even if you feel a little bit wobbly now and again. Take another breath here. And then the hands are going to come down to the floor, and we're going to step that left foot forward, a little lift halfway, and exhale, a big bow. Now this time, instead of coming up, we're going to come down to the ground. So bend your knees and bring your bottom to the floor. However you need to get there, I'm fine if that happened another way. Good. Bum to the floor. And then walk your feet back, reach your hands in front of you. We're going to keep our feet on the ground. We're just going to inhale, lift the arms up so our toes are still on the floor. Then we're going to exhale, reach back and just touch lightly the earth with your fingertips. Right hand back. Inhale, lift up again. Exhale, twisting to the left and touching back lightly. So you're floating almost. Inhaling up. Even your toes are just touching lightly. So your body is really engaged, really awake. Inhaling. Exhale, twist to the left. Now you can stay here just like this, or we can take it up a notch. So as we come back, we're going to extend that right leg and not touch the floor, but just hover and hold. Inhaling to come back. Exhale as you just twist to the left, lift the left leg, and then just float that left hand. Inhaling up and back. Beautiful. Now both legs at the same time. Ooh. And then inhaling up and back. Touch the toes to the ground. Exhale, twist to the left. Both feet lift up. Keep that left hand off the ground. Yes, inhaling back up. One more time to the right. Maybe if you want to take that a little bit stronger, you can lower it down halfway. Inhaling to pull back up, toes touch to the ground. Exhaling, maybe you lower halfway, maybe you don't. Yes, well done. Inhale, come all the way up. Cross your ankles and then just take a little fold, just to cool us down. Fold forward in a seated forward fold. Bow your forehead down. Big breath in, big breath out. One more breath here, big breath in. And big breath out. Beautiful. Roll yourself up again. We're going to take our feet to the floor. Here comes the plane. Roll yourself on your back. We'll get prepared. Bring the soles of your feet together. And let your knees open out to the side. Hope you can still hear me. Perfect. So the soles of the feet came together, the knees open out to the side. We're going to inhale, take our arms, stretch them up and over our head. And then as you exhale, we're going to lift up. Maybe it's just a crunch. Or we're going to lift up, extend the arms. I'll wait patiently. And then we're going to come up, and if you can lift all the way up, you're going to pull your feet in together. Your knees are going to go out to the side. So let me explain that again in case you lost me with that plane. The legs are going to go out straight. Arms are going to come up behind our head. As we lift up and reach forward, we're going to pull the feet in. So we're in a Baddha Konasana. Knees go out to the side. So it will look like that in the fullest version of that. Or we're just going to keep the feet together, knees apart, and just make little crunches here. So let's see if we can do 10 of those. If you've done more, perfect. That's a bonus. Let's start. Inhaling, exhaling to lift. Inhaling as you stretch. Exhale for the work. 2. Inhaling as we lift. Exhale. Baddha Konasana, feet fold forward. Inhale, extend the legs, arms overhead. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. 4. I'm really bad with counting, so you might do 1 or 2 extra. That's okay, right? You can never do too many sit-ups and crunches. 6. 4 more to go. Remember, you can always make that really easy, modify it if you need to. Just adding the crunches. 8. 9. And last one, 10. When you come all the way up, and if you're still in your back, come all the way up, and then just take a big forward fold here. So the soles of the feet are together, the knees are apart. Just a nice cooling counter pose to that. Letting your head get heavy. Breathing into the back body. And then we're going to slowly come all the way back up. And we're going to come all the way over into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, move slowly. We're not in a rush. Remember, our intention was just to keep things moving a bit slower, more gentle. And take a breath here. And then we're going to walk our feet to our hands, back to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up, engage the core, long spine. Exhale back into that deep fold. Inhaling to rise all the way up. Arms circle wide. Push into your feet as you pull the heart to the sky. Exhale. Hands to the heart center. Take another deep breath here. And exhale. And we're going to add what we did at the back of the mat now here at the front of the mat. We'll inhale, pull the arms to the sky. Pull the right knee up. So you're finding the balance. Good. Exhale, come through a little chair pose. Set that right foot down. Arms go back. Inhale. Pull the left knee up. Arms to the sky. Exhale. So we're going super slow. Again, to pacify that pitta that is high. But also the slower we go, the more the muscles have to actually work to do some control. They're not just relying on momentum. Good. And then we're going to add something else here. So the next time we take this right knee up and the arms up. Now, keeping your arms up, think about pushing into your left foot, pulling with those hands. Then push back with your right foot and pull forward with your hands. You're going to kick back into a warrior 3. Then pull the right knee back up. Reach to the sky. Good. Push and pull. Find a rhythm. If it doesn't look like mine, that's okay. If you're wobbling all over the place, that's okay too. If you have to set that foot down every once in a while, that's okay. We're building up our strength. Don't expect perfection. Whoop, everything is just a dance. If everything were perfect all the time, I think we would lose our dance. We would lose a bit of our rhythm. And let's do that one more time. Pulling the knee up. Exhale, push away. Now this time, bring your hands to the floor. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And pause here. Keep pushing away with that right foot and pull the ribs forward. Pull the crown of your head forward. Keep a soft micro bend in your knee so that the leg isn't locked out. Keep pushing back with the right foot. Pull the head forward. Left hand is going to stay on the ground. Right hand is going to come to the hip. And can you feel that you're rolling your right hip towards the sky so your pelvis opens towards the right side of the mat? A little cheeky half moon pose there. Maybe the right arm extends up to the sky. If your ankle is rolling all over the place, perfect. It's trying to learn how to balance our body weight on that little ankle in space. And then take that right hand to the floor, step it all the way back, find your plank pose and just pause. Imagine plank pose felt like a resting pose. Push the floor away. Feel your whole body is strong. And we're going to roll over to that left side. Now your feet can be split with your right foot on the floor in front of you, or you can stack it above onto that left foot. Just see what you need, where you are. Coming into our Vashisthasana. Remember, push and pull. Push down into that left hand and pull up through that right hand. And then bring that right hand to the floor. Roll over to the right side. Feet can be split or stacked. Push into the right hand. Pull up with your left hand like there's literally something to hold on to. And then come back into your plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. As you come down, inhale your way into a cobra. Nice and slow, silky smooth. Exhale. Now if you really want something cooling, just take a child's pose. If you want to keep building up the energy, the heat, a downward facing dog is also very welcome. Just taking a moment to check in, to cool down, and to regain a little bit of that energy for the next side. And then we're going to slowly come back into downward facing dog, walking our feet back towards the top of the mat. Boop, 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 boop. Inhale, lifting up through chest, halfway lift, and then exhale, fold back in. And coming all the way up, inhale, arms circle wide, push down into your feet, pull the heart towards the sky, and exhale, hands back to heart center. Take a full breath here, standing upright. Breathing into the heart space. Maybe allow, instead of holding the body so rigid, allow this little sway, this little back and forth, push and pull. And trusting in your legs that they're going to hold you and support you, even as we move and sway and try to find our balance. And then let's try to find our balance on the other side. So let's come into another round of that. So starting with that left leg this time, we're going to bend the knees. Inhale, pull the left knee up. Pushing down to pull, and then exhale back into a little chair pose. Keep the arms lifted, chest is lifted. Inhale, right knee lifts. Exhale, place it down back through a chair pose. Inhale, can you feel your buttocks squeeze a little bit as you lift that left leg up? Exhale, place it down. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, place it down. Beautiful. Left leg is going to lift and pause. Beautiful. So the right knee is not locked. It's slightly bent, so the muscles have to work, not the joint. Then you're going to push back with your left foot. Pull forward with your chest, with your hands. And then pull everything back up to the sky. Knee comes forward, lifting up. Exhale, push. Keep a soft bend in your right leg. Inhaling to pull. Don't worry if you're dancing, just make it a rhythm. Make it a fun dance. If you fall all over the place, that is absolutely okay. Remember how clumsy we were when we first learned how to dance, how many times we stepped on our partner's feet. You might be stepping on your own feet. When you come into this position the next time, pushing that left foot back, you're going to take your hands to the floor. Good. Trust in your legs. Trust in the support of your legs. Squeeze a little bit the muscles to the bones, but keep the knee bent. Left hand to your left hip. Start to roll the hip open, left over the right into your half moon pose. And keep your gaze down to the floor so you have a little bit more focus. Maybe that left arm reaches to the sky. Pull the ribs forward. Deep breath here. And then that left hand is going to come to the ground. We're going to step it back into our plank pose. Plank pose feels like a little relief, doesn't it? And then this time we're going to drop to our knees, pause. And then we're going to turn that into a forearm plank. Elbows come to the floor, forearms come to the ground. You can interlace your hands if you need to, or keep the hands separated. Tuck the toes, lift back up into your forearm plank. Push the floor away. You want to feel that instead of your chest sinking towards your elbows, push your chest away from your elbows. Pushing down into your elbows, pulling the back of your shoulder blades towards the sky. But trying to keep your body in one straight line as you do that. See if you can find a bit of cooling breath as you hold. Now, if you're feeling anything in your back at all, I want you just to lift your hips a little bit. And it's not cheating, it's just making sure that we're not dropping too far down because I can't see your body. So usually that's a good adjustment if you're feeling it in your back. Activate your legs a little bit more. You can do it just 2 more seconds. And then now lower to your knees, lower your ribs, but keep your arms in this position. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. Pull your elbows back towards your ribs, pull your chest forward. Take a deep breath here. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to slowly pull the hands back underneath the shoulders, forehead down. Push yourself all the way back up into your downward facing dog. Stretch it all out. And then we're going to walk our feet back to our hands. This time, let's come into Malasana. So turn the toes out, drop your bum, your seat down. How are you doing? Yeah, good. Following along still. Perfect. Maybe the hands need to stay on the floor. Maybe the hands can come to the heart, using your elbows to press those knees open. Draw the navel in, sink the tailbone down, and lift the crown of your head to the sky. We're going to take the left hand across the left leg. So the hand's going to come to the floor, the arm's going to go across the left leg. Turn that into a twist. Reach the right arm to the sky. And take a deep breath into that. Beautiful. And then take your right hand down in front of your right leg, using the arm to push that knee open. Twist and take that left arm to the sky into a twist. Beautiful. Take both hands back to the floor. If you don't feel comfortable lowering down without hands, use your hands by all means. But see if you can lower to the floor. Boop. A little crash. Yeah, a big crash maybe. Come back into that bridge pose. We're going to lift the feet this time. Lift the feet. At bridge pose, your boat pose. Boats and bridge, they're all in water. They're all in the same category, right? Lift the crown of your head up. Push down into your sit bones. Pull, pull, pull upwards through the crown of your head. And then we're just going to take our boat halfway. So it might even just be a little lean back for you, and that might be all you can do perfect. Or maybe it's a big one. And I want you to really listen to your body because like anything, these poses require a lot of strength. And if you're straining and pushing yourself too hard, maybe you're going to strain your body more than it's worth it. So particularly, feel into your back. Make sure your back isn't doing too much of the work. If you can't go all the way down, that's okay. Maybe it's just little movements. Let's do that one more time. And then come all the way up, cross your legs, lift your spine, make sure your back is nice and straight. And then take it forward to release the back. Counter that with a little forward fold. Soften the shoulders, breathe deep here. And coming back to the moment. with that wind of your breath. And then slowly we're going to come all the way back up. Beautiful. We're going to stretch our legs forward. We're going to roll ourselves all the way back down to the floor. And my friends, if you remembered what we did last time. So to modify it, I'll remind you, you're going to keep your feet together, knees bent the whole time. Open, I meant. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale, it will just be little pulses, like you're trying to reach and touch to your feet. Inhaling up. Exhale to reach forward. If you're going to take the full version, inhale, legs and arms are straight. Then as you exhale and as you lift up, you're going to pull, snap your feet in into that Baddha Konasana. So knees open, soles of the feet together. Ready? Let's start together. Inhale and exhaling to lift. Inhaling, exhaling for 2. Inhale and 3. And I know it's tempting to go as fast as you can, but try to make it a little bit slower. 5, halfway there. And 6. And 7. And 8. Almost. 2 more. 9. And then 10. And then when you get back up, and if you are lying down, if you were modifying it, just take that forward fold variation. Soles of the feet together. Knees are going to be apart. And just let your forehead bow. And then we're going to take this even wider. So let's come up again. Nice tall spine. Open your legs. So we're in this wide straddle position. Legs are nice and wide. Move your sit bones back. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Find that length in the side body. And as you exhale, without taking your hands to the floor, just see how far you can go. Trying to keep the spine nice and long. Tipping from the pelvis. And then take your hands down to support you wherever you have tipped yourself into that position. And then see if you can close your eyes and find a little rhythm with your breath. Maybe a little sway. Having just a little moment to dance. And then we're going to come all the way back up again. Inhale. Turning towards your right leg, we're going to fold over that right leg. It might be just a lean for you. It might be a really deep forward fold. And then inhale, we're going to come back up. Reach and lengthen and exhale over towards that left leg. Beautiful. Softening the shoulders. Letting go of how far you're getting. Find the rhythm, the little sway even with your breath. And then inhale, we're going to come all the way back up. We're going to cross the ankles, coming back into our downward facing dog, tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Back up to the sky. Pushing down through your hands so you can pull the hips high and up. And then we're going to walk our feet back to our hands, back to the top of our mat, taking our forward fold here, just letting our head bow. Rolling ourselves up this time, chin to chest, bend your knees, let the body unfold, unfurl. As you come all the way back up to stand, lift your shoulders, pull them back, and slide them down. Great, we're going to come into a little bit more work for the supporting, stabilizing leg. Just a little bit more glute activation, thigh activation, then we'll come into our standing balancing sequence that we practiced last week, if you were here for that and remember. But first, we're going to start again with taking that right knee back into the chest, pushing into that left foot, pulling the right knee up, reaching the fingertips to the sky. Beautiful. And as you're pulling up, start to push back. Now this time the difference is as you push back, you're going to reach down towards the ground. Now do that super slow. And even if you're falling all over the place, it still counts. Just restart yourself from the beginning. Don't try to come back into a part of the pose. Start from the beginning. Let's just do 3 of those. So we're going to push into the ground to pull up, push into the ground to push back, and then you start to hinge forward from your hips. Touch the floor. Good. Now, as you touch the floor, squeeze the glute and then pull up. Reach the arms to the sky. And then last time, pushing back, really stabilizing through with that standing leg. Find the dance. It might be more of a dance. You might find that the rhythm isn't so smooth and steady. Reach back up. Beautiful. And then let's place the right foot down. Take your arms back down by your side. Good. Inhale, take both arms up. Start to bend the knees, pull the left knee up. And again, just 3 times. We're gonna push back with that left foot. At the same time, you're gonna reach slowly down, slowly. And even if you don't get all the way to the floor, it's okay. And then slowly pull back up. And notice how much work actually happens on the pulling back up, not just the pushing. Sometimes pulling can also be just as difficult. Pulling back in. Reaching the arms to the sky. One last time. Kicking that leg back. Reaching the fingertips down. Beautiful. Pulling back in. Touching both feet, landing both feet on the earth. Letting both arms come down by your sides. And just take a moment to pause. Close your eyes. Feel the ground below your feet. Start to engage and connect with your legs a little bit more. With your breath, with all the sensations rushing around your body. Just noticing, describing to yourself how it is that you feel in this moment. And then let's come into that standing sequence, my friend. So if you need a strap for this, you can grab one of those now. I will face you for this. So if you remember this, and I can't hear your responses, but I'm curious to know how, if you've tried any of those tips from the article I shared about balance, if any of that has started to click in. Just to remind what that was saying is, first, just go slow and just take it at your own time. Never rush balance. Balance wants to be slow and take its time, right? And also making sure that we're using muscles rather than locking in the joints, which we often do, and it's kind of unconscious most of the time. So always keeping the knees slightly bent rather than stiff, solid, straight legs. That's going to help as well. And just taking time to build up the strength of the leg. So being patient. It's all a patient game here. So modify this sequence as much as you need to. Okay, and I'll show you both ways. So first we're going to start by, again, pushing into the ground, engaging the core, pulling that right knee into the chest, into the belly, holding that. And your gaze point is also important. So if you're looking down, I tend to look down more. I find it more grounding, more stabilizing. Looking up, you tend to keep your chest lifted. So sometimes that works better for people. I wouldn't necessarily recommend looking straight up to the sky, but rather than forward in front of you. But see what works best. Maybe turning the gaze down helps you to balance a little bit more. Let's take the left hand to the left hip. And you're either going to hold the right knee the whole time, that's perfectly fine, or you're going to reach for your strap or even your big toe. Some of you might start to extend the right leg more to a straighter position. Don't worry if that's not you and you're not doing that today. Perfect. Notice the rhythm, the dance of your standing leg at this moment. Your ankle should be dancing a little bit as it's trying to find its center of gravity again. Think about just hugging everything in, firming everything and toning everything up, toning the muscles of your legs, toning the muscles of your bum, toning your core. And then see if you can open that leg out to the side. Yeah, maybe it's the bent knee, maybe it's the straight leg. Again, tone everything, firm everything. Push down into the earth and pull up, 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 pull up and in. Push down, pull up and in. Come back to center. And then release the foot. Yes, well done. Good job. Yeah, give it a little slap. It's a little thank you pat. It's a little well done, like a little pat on the back. I'm giving those muscles a little shaky, shaky, little release. And let's try that on the other side. So finding your feet again. And pushing down into the standing leg as you pull in with that left knee into the chest. Doing so in that way, I'm trying to get you to engage with your core a little bit more in the hip flexors. Perfect. Start to tone and firm around that standing leg. And then you're going to bring your right hand to your hip and maybe the two peace fingers to your big toe. Maybe a strap. Maybe just holding onto the knee and then straightening that leg when you're ready. If you're ready. Maybe it's not today. Keep the chest lifted. Push and pull. Push down into the earth and pull everything up and in. And then maybe we just stay there. Or maybe you can take that leg open to the side. Think of push and pull. Push and pull. Try not to lock the knee. Yes, well done. Smile helps too. And then bring the leg back to center. And place the foot back down. Well done. Give yourself a pat of the hands and then a pat of the legs, a pat of the booty. Core also is important because core is what stabilizes us too. So when we're in balance, our core should be turned on and fired on just as much as the glutes or the hamstrings of the legs. That's why we put so much core work emphasis in there today. We're going to do one more balance here before we start to cool it down. We're going to come into our dancer's pose. So coming back to wherever you are on your mat, inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Leave the left arm up. Start to bend your right knee and just reach back for the right foot. Bring the right heel into your sit bone. And again, push down into the standing leg. Reach up into that left hand. Now start to engage with your core. So you're starting to almost shrink your waist. Zip your waist in like you're wearing a corset. Good. And then maybe you stay here. Sometimes this feels like a really nice stretch. Just to open up the quadricep, the hip flexors, particularly after we've been using them some bits today. Or maybe you kick back into your hand. I like to change the grip to hold the big toe side of the foot. Kicking back into the hand. And then this way you're stretching out the belly, you're stretching out the front body. And maybe you stay lifted, a push and a pull at the same time. Or maybe you take a bow, the ultimate dancer's pose. But there is a sense of push-pull here. Take one more time, one more breath, a push, and then a pull to bring everything back in. Place both feet on the ground. Push your feet into the earth as you reach, pull up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands back to heart. And then let's do that again. Circle your arms as you inhale. Reach up to the sky, bend your left knee, bring that left heel back into your sit bone. Reach back for the foot. And draw the heel in. Press the thighs forward so you get that beautiful stretch to that quadricep. This pose is the ultimate push-pull. Pushing down into the earth, pulling the heart to the sky. And then staying in this by all means. Please do. It feels so good to be there. Or take your hand wherever you feel is best for you, outside or inside. And then push the foot back as you pull up and forward. The more there's a balance and equanimity between the pushing and the pull, that's where you'll find your center of gravity. Start to shrink the waist so the core is engaged, helping you to stabilize. Take one more full breath here. And then bringing that leg back in, placing the feet to the earth, reach the arms to the sky one more time. And one last big bow. Exhale. Bow the forehead down. Take a moment to sway your body from side to side. Now we're going to come all the way down onto our back, and this is where we're going to use our strap. So we're going to do that little lovely hip sequence here with our strap, which is the same sequence we did standing. Now you get the delight of doing it lying down. So grabbing hold of your strap. We're going to take our right foot into the strap first. And then we're just going to push the leg to the sky, into the strap. Try to get your strap around the ball of your foot and pulling the toes towards your shin, pressing the heel to the sky. And maybe this left knee stays bent, or maybe it extends down the mat. And that just is a matter of your back, if it feels better in your back to have that knee bent. And then just coming into your stretch wherever you need to be. And notice how with warmer weather, your body opens a little bit more into your stretches. Like in Bikram yoga, when you're practicing in very hot rooms, you tend to stretch a little deeper. Finding your edge, but also finding that softness around the edge. Make sure your shoulders relax and your jaw is soft. The muscles of your forehead and your cheeks and your eyes are relaxed. Pressing down into that left leg if it is extended and straight. And pulling up to the sky with that right heel. We're going to turn the toes out to the right. Release your left hand. You can hold the left hip down just as a reference so that we don't allow the whole of the body to turn towards that right leg as we drop the right leg open to the right. We want to try to keep that left hip rooted to the floor. Left thigh rooting down. And if you feel really open and really flexible, rather than just taking that leg right to the side, try to bring that leg up more towards the right shoulder. Breath is still in the belly. And then grab hold of the straps with your left hand. Pull that leg up to the sky. And then just a few inches or centimeters even across the body to the left. But you want to keep your right hip in contact. So if you feel, or just bring your mind's eye to your back for a moment, your back should feel really level. It shouldn't feel like one side has lifted off of the ground. It should feel nice and centered. Maybe a pressing of the foot into the strap to really open up into the hip. Beautiful. And then inhale, bring that leg back up to the sky. Walk your hands, both hands up the strap. Lift your head as if you're going to give your leg a little kiss. Thank you so much, leg. Then lower yourself all the way back down. Slide that right foot by your left. Just taking a moment in Shavasana. And I love that moment of just feeling the difference between the two legs. And then we're going to do that all over again on the other side. So bending that right knee, taking the left foot into the strap. Extending the left leg into the sky. Maybe this right knee stays bent, or maybe the right leg stays stretched out down the mat, softening the shoulders. Nice deep breaths. Again, going to our edge, but nothing too extreme. We want to stay soft. The body doesn't want to harden around the edges. Hence why it's so helpful to bring our breath into the edges. And then we're going to let the left leg turn out and open to the left. Right hand comes to the right side to support that rooting and grounding of the right side. And keeping the breath still low in the belly. It's easy as we open to forget the breath and allow it to get shallow, to lessen. But in fact, we want to keep it deep. And to use this challenge to deepen the breath rather than take the breath away from us. One more breath here. And then inhale, bring that left leg back up to the sky. Reach across, hold onto the strap, and take the leg just a fraction across the body. Maybe that left hand roots down that left hip. Maybe we're pressing into that strap a little bit more. Good. And then finally bringing that leg back to the sky, both hands to the strap, a big inhale to prepare. And then an exhalation, lifting up, bring your nose towards your knee. And then slowly we're going to release the foot. Release the strap, we don't need it anymore. Stretch your body long one more time. Reach the arms up and overhead. And pull your knees back into your chest. Squeeze in tightly to release the lower back. Maybe a little rock from side to side. And then releasing your arms open. And then taking your legs to the right, but just hover for a moment, just to hover. Rooting down through the arms and the shoulders. And then take the knees back to the sky. Over to the left, just to hover. And then all the way up and all the way down to the right. All the way up and all the way down. Let them fall. Let them be held by the ground. Turning your gaze to one side. Releasing that left shoulder. Letting that left elbow bend slightly. And keeping that rhythm of breath moving into the left side body. And then inhale, take the knees back up to the sky. All the way over to the left, all the way down to the ground. Spinning that right shoulder to the earth, the elbow. Letting your head turn. Bringing your knees back to the sky and placing your feet down, getting yourself ready for your Shavasana, however you need to prepare your body for that. Letting the arms rest, the head be comfortable. If you need a blanket, if you're feeling too chilly now, if the body is cooled down enough to need an extra support of the blanket, take that. If the knees prefer to be bent, take that. And just moving into the rhythm of your breath again. Feeling the earth beneath you. Everything is rhythm. Give and take, push and pull. Everything melts into a dance, which just brings us back to this body, which is rooted to the ground, which is always inside of this moment, here, now, exactly as we are. Everything is a rhythm. Give and take, push and pull. Everything melts into a dance, which brings us back to the body, which is rooted to the ground, which is always inside of this moment, here, now, exactly as we are. And just taking these final moments to melt into the ground, to melt into the here, the now. And slowly returning back to your breath. Taking a slow, deep inhale. Maybe a gentle sigh as you exhale. Wiggling fingers and toes. Stretching and yawning the body back awake. Bringing your knees into your chest, giving yourself one last big cuddle. And coming to roll over gently in your own time to your side when you're ready. And coming up to your seat. Another moment there with yourself, with your eyes closed, turning inward to your breath, your body, perhaps the faint beating of your heart, to a sense of softness, openness. Maybe there's a little rhythm, a little dance or sway. And starting to take in all the sounds around you. Maybe the smells around you. Bringing back life to all of your senses. And bringing your hands to your heart. And a breath here to acknowledge this sacred place. And allowing our busy minds to bow to this center. And thank you so much for your practice, for turning up, for tuning in both to the practice, also to yourself. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I really look forward to seeing you again. Namaste.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you Friday.
See you Friday. Thank you.
The beautiful sunset here. Wish you could all see.
Next time, maybe. Bye.